Welcome to the Boys to Men podcast. My intention with every episode and every guest that we bring on is to use their experiences and their knowledge to try to help guide you guys into your future. Today I have a very special guest, Joey Pledger. He works for the Fremont Unified School District. He's a sound engineer and he's the part of the union president?
Yeah.
Union president
for my local chapter.
What's that again?
For my local chapter.
For his local chapter.
10-1. Yeah.
Very, very busy guy. He's a loving father. He is a great husband. Matter of fact, a lot of my parenting skills come from this guy because I've known him basically my whole adult life. Let's clap it up for Joey Pledger.
Do that Cardi on my wrist and he said shine. All these diamonds in this bitch will leave a motherfucker blind. Gotta get the feel of it, said I'm next up in line. Motivation to the city, yeah, they know that it's our time. We was waiting up in line, now the line wait for us. Brother see the hoeing nigga since he put up on them bucks. Suckers showing all their hands, but we know that it's a bluff. Real repty with them niggas finna turn the city up. We just...
Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, man. It's been a while, man.
Yeah.
Probably catch up later, but I like to start with, it's all about you, your experiences. So let's start with your upbringing.
Well, I'm one of four. I have a brother and two sisters. I'm in the middle. I'm the third child. I grew up with both my parents, very loving and very supporting throughout my whole life from an early age. I feel like my parents really try to instill with me following my heart and doing what's right, and I try my best to live my life that way and instill that into my children. I'm originally from Fremont. I grew up there in the Cabrillo area my whole life almost. Family's really big to me. Providing for my children, is obviously a priority. Like I said, I come from a very big family outside of that, like my extended family, as far as like my aunts and my cousins and everything like that. And I've been really lucky and blessed in the sense of having a big support group. So,
yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things I've learned from you in my past was before I had kids, like how you put your kids first. You would turn down shows, you would turn down things to be a father. And it's like being a father first is really important to this. He's not lying. Like I've watched him be a father first, before I had kids, and I try to follow that same path, but I learned that from you.
Well, I always tell people, who are like in these kind of independent hustles, whether it's music or acting or modeling or photography or whatever it is, if you have kids, you can be a good father 100%.
Right.
Because being a good parent is effort, because parents make mistakes. My parents made mistakes. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. All parents make mistakes. But being a good parent, you learn from those mistakes. And all that requires is effort. And effort translates to love, and your kids can see that. So putting your kids first is, to me, would be I can guarantee you I can be a good father. There's no guarantee I'm going to make it in rap or hip hop or being a DJ or whatever it is. But I can guarantee you I could be a good dad. So that's what I wanted to do. I honestly believe, from the bottom of my heart, if you want to make the world a better place, the best thing you can do is raise good kids, kind-hearted kids. The world's never going to be short on successful people. I worry myself that it may be short on good-hearted people in the future. So what I can do to contribute to a better place is raising my kids with good hearts and to go out there and make the world a better place.
Nicely put, nicely said. So what was your turning point? Was there any point in time where you were going down a path and you had to turn around and reevaluate? What was that situation like?
Yeah, well, when I had my son young, so I was 20, unemployed at the time, and a lot of stress. I was really going hardcore into music, trying to make something happen for myself. And when my son was born, I really didn't know how to juggle taking care of my father responsibilities and trying to get a job, started working, and then also doing music. It was just too much. It was too much of an overload. So I decided to focus on being a dad. And I had a little bit of buzz going on at that time. And so when I stepped back to try to get everything settled and together, when I tried going back, it was starting all over again. I lost all momentum from music. And I didn't realize that stopping like that, I'd have to start all over. Being young and naive, I kind of thought, okay, well, I'll take a break. I'll figure out how to be a dad and try to, get my feet under me. And I kind of thought the world was going to wait for me.
Right.
But they didn't. So
Yeah. What would you say was your biggest failure? Was it any situation before your kids, after your kids? Are you still going through that? And we're just trying to use our experiences to guide the listeners, any people that are our audience. So I like to talk about failing, because failing is a part of learning. You don't learn from the wins, you learn from the fails.
Yeah.
You know, when you fail, you learn, you level up, like, you know, the mistakes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to talk about any type of failures or mistakes?
Well, you know, I share time with my son's mom, and we have a good relationship now. You know, we work together to raise them and communicate. But a regret I have is having my son with somebody I can't be with every day, because that lost me time with him. And I still make the most of the time I do get with him, but I regret not having 100%. He's my son. I want him 100% of the time. And I don't regret like sharing him, and I'm happy that I get to share him with his mom, and I get my time and she gets her time. And I'm glad he knows that we both love him, but he's still my kid. And like, being a greedy person, I still want him all the time.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously I'm happy to share him, and I want that for him, but deep down in my heart, like I want him all the time. When the days he's not here, I miss him. Like I want him every day.
So it's like picking your partner wisely.
Yeah.
Type of situation.
Yeah. And I'm lucky. You know, I've been with my wife now for 13 years, and I think being
What's up, Sophia?
Yeah. But I think being on the same page, parenting has helped our relationship a lot too. Because I mean, if you disagree about like how to raise your kids, then that's going to be really stressful on your relationship. You know, so being on the same page, and it really goes a long way.
And since we already opened that door, so dating status, he's married. Do you have any tips and advice for men who want to be married, are married, or looking to be in relationships?
Well, just follow your heart, follow your gut. You know, I mean, you should know. It's always good to date somebody who has a similar, like I said, similar parenting ideas than you. So that way, you guys can be on the same page of how you want to raise your children in the direction you want to go. And there's really advice as far as like being with somebody I feel like is kind of trivial, because I love my wife, and if my dad or you said, hey, I'm not feeling this woman, I don't like her, I think you can do better, it doesn't matter. If I love her, I love her. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. I'm following my heart. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, find a good woman or a good partner, and love them and support them. And, you know, I found somebody who loves and supports me, and I try to support her back. And, you know, it's a team effort.
Yeah. I think that's a big question to talk about in the beginning. Like when you go to that commitment level, how do you want to raise your kids? You know, and not a lot of people talk about that, because they wait till the end and they're like, well, I don't want to whip my kids, or I do want to whip my kids, or I don't want to do this. And it's like, whoa. So it's like, I like how you pointed that out. You know, you guys, if you guys are at that level where you're like thinking about being committed, before you commit and put those years in, it's probably wise to figure out what their plans are as far as raising children and your plans, so that way you guys can see if you have the same, because that's going to be a compatibility issue where, you know, you won't be, you can have everything right, but if they want their kids to go to public school and you want to put them in private school and it's not negotiable, then you guys aren't going to be able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and like, like you said, we don't hit our kids. We try to stick with positive reinforcement as much as possible, you know, so we set goals for our kids, and if they reach them, we reward them. If they don't, we don't. Yeah. And we sit down, we'll have coaching sessions with them, and, you know, just try to give them the best advice we can give them. Obviously, just because you're a parent doesn't mean you have all the answers, you know, so, you know, I'm lucky, I'm blessed. I still communicate with my parents and my dad and my mom, and I ask them, hey, was this ever something you guys came across? How'd you guys handle this? And my dad was always a big preacher in the sense of like, hey, I know I made a lot of mistakes raising you, so you take what you want and you leave what you don't. So, you know, like I've done that, and I've been criticized by my parents sometimes, and I say, hey, you know, that's the way you guys did it. That's not the way I'm going to do it. Right. You know, so just being true to yourself. Yeah.
Your career choice and why?
Well,
or your favorite career choice? I'm pretty sure we've had multiple, you know.
Yeah. Well, I pursued music really hardcore in my 20s. I'm very proud of myself for that. I put in a lot of time, a lot of money. It didn't work out for me, but that's okay. I just wanted to be able to tell my kids, look at me in the eye, and say, hey, you know, this is what I wanted to do, and I really put my best foot forward and put my all into my dreams. So I have proof to show them, like, hey, look at all this stuff I made. Look what I've been part of. This was my dream. This is what I wanted to do, and I pursued it with everything I got. Right. So from there, I've been working for the school district for 16 years. At first, it was just a job I can get. It was one of the only jobs I can get, because around this time was the recession, you know, in like 2008, 8, and so jobs were hard to find, and I got in there and I stayed in there. So I've worked my way up from nighttime custodian to I'm now a painter and president of my union. So I just try to be proactive, help out my coworkers, be a positive impact on my community and my job site.
Yeah. And that's a good job, man. I think like with the times now, everyone's hiring and nobody wants to work. Everyone wants to do this, social media path. And that's the Boys to Men on the first season. We're doing 9-to-5ers because I want to glorify workers, because there's good opportunities. I have a job. I've been with the same place 14 years. I'll be able to retire in 12 years. Like there's good retirement plans. There's good packages. And it's like sometimes you got to make the best with what you have. And you can still pursue your goals, your purpose while holding down a job. So I don't want people to shy away from working, because like there's one point in time you couldn't find a job.
Yeah.
Now everywhere's hiring, but nobody wants to work.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel blessed to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
My coworkers are awesome. They're supportive. It's surround yourself with good people, and as you get older, everybody wants to give advice, but when you get older, you get a little bit more mature. You understand where the good advice comes from.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky. I work with some really awesome, kind-hearted people, who are there to support and help me all the time. So I've been blessed all around, man.
Absolutely. Let's see. What would you say is the importance of personal development for men?
Very important. Personal development for men or any gender is extremely important. Right. You always want to have growth, whether it be professional or emotional or whatever it is. I always set goals for myself. Right. I've always been that kind of person, because if I don't set goals, then I'm not working for anything. So like I wanted to like get a promotion, so that was my goal. So I made sure I went to work every day. I made sure I was there being supportive to my coworkers and my boss, building my relationships there. And when the time came, I got the promotion. It was one of my goals. But that's all I can provide for my family as best as I can. Right. A lot of the goals I actually set for myself are happiness goals, because happiness goals I think are very underrated. So I just try to, set goals to be happy and, see my kids happy, my partner happy. Yeah. And I think those are overlooked and extremely important.
Absolutely.
In life.
Can you actually dive into that a little bit more? Because a lot of people set fitness goals, money goals, relationship goals, like travel goals, but happy. Like, so what do you mean by like happiness goals?
Well, like happiness goals is like, okay, so like happiness goals would be like, I want to have this year, I want to see like a whole bunch of smiles, loving. I want to spend time with my kids, my wife. Travel might be in there. Like I want to take them to Disneyland this year because it's been a while. Or I want to, we're going to go camping all summer and fishing all summer and do stuff. Yeah. It's not. It might be like a broad and general like idea, but like it's a goal to be happy. Right. So it's. When you make that your focus, it's more likely that's going to happen and occur. So it's something in the front of your mind. I'm putting being happy in the front of my mind, right? So that way I can will it into existence,
right? And then when bad things happen, you always have that in your head, like I'm working towards this happiness goal or to go do these things. I think I personally have happiness goals too. I might word it different, like self goals or self care or whatever. But like majority of the things that I do are to be happy because I like to be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like there's times where you're just down and we've all been there drifting, and it's like when you wake up in the morning, you got your shit together, your kids are smiling, like okay, we're gonna go to Disneyland or we're gonna go do this, and we just started camping too. Our first trip was last year, and we're gonna do one this year too.
Oh, nice, yeah.
It's fun, it's happy.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is like you really do, and I know it might sound corny and cliche, but you really do get back what you put out.
Right.
So if you wake up and you want to be happy and you're supportive and you're going out there and you're supporting people, your friends, your coworkers, your family, then when you hit those lows or those bad times like you're talking about, people are going to be there for you.
Right.
Because when you're there for people, people will be there for you. So like when you have a big support system, it's also a full-time job supporting other people, and not financially or whatever, but like emotionally.
Right.
And so it's I always tell my kids, like, be the person you want to be, pick friends that are good friends, that are the kind of friends that you want, and then you have to be that in return. You can't just have a good friend and take advantage of them and not give back that good friendship. Right. If your friend's going to be there for you, you have to be there for them. That's part of life.
Yeah. If you could do anything today, what would it be?
As far as job wise, I would,
or just anything fun. Like, okay, money's off the table. You can do anything.
It would probably be travel because I never had the opportunity to travel. I had kids early. Yeah. We were barely making it. We're in a little bit better situation right now currently, but we still don't have enough money to travel with all my kids because I got 5, so it's expensive.
Where would you go?
I don't know. I always wanted to go see Europe. Yeah, really bad. So I'd want to go see Europe, and I've always been like really into like the hip hop scene out there and going to see what it's like. That just always really interested me.
Now, if you could go with just Sophia, would you go, or would it have to be a whole family thing?
I'd want it to be the whole family thing.
Okay.
I would go with just my wife, and it'd be great. But like, if I can bring my whole family, I would definitely bring my whole family. Yeah. We don't really parent like that. Like, we don't try to parent like, hey, we're gonna save this money and we're gonna go do this and have a good time. We'll come back and let you know how it was.
Yeah.
Like, if it's between going to Europe or we're just gonna go all together to like. I don't know, like, you know, LA or even like New York or wherever, and go say, see, we're going to New York because we want to give our kids those memories, and we want to have those memories with them. Right. That's what we work for. So it would definitely be our whole family.
I feel that. That's what I try to do. I try to do one with me and my wife and one as a family. Yeah. We have a bunch of kids too, and it's like some things are just not possible to do as a family, so I try to give them those opportunities. Like, as my kids' choice to do camping, I said, do you want to go to Legoland? Or do you want to go camping? And they all said camping. Yeah. You know, and it was more expensive to camp because we had to buy all the stuff.
Yeah, the first time's always the worst, but after that it gets a little bit easier because you know you're buying the food anyway. Yeah. You know, it's cheaper than it's way cheaper than a hotel or somewhere else to stay. So it's like, but it is making that initial investment is kind of like, oh man, it's hefty. And then you got to like store it all too. So that's also like another thing you got to keep in mind.
But it's like cool because now it's an every year thing, and it's really just paying the night fees and getting the food. So now it's like it was better than going to Disney or Legoland because Legoland would have been a memory, but now I can keep using this memory a couple of times.
And the great thing about camping too is usually that technology is limited there, so we kind of get more hands off of the tablets and the phones and everything else, and we're out there and we're actually together. You know, we're playing board games and card games at night, going fishing in the morning. You know, barbecuing all around, so playing music. So we're like together. We're out there.
Yeah. So I was asked, if you can go back to any age, what age would you go to, why, or would you stay?
Well, obviously, if I had to go back in time, I would do everything the same because I feel like my kids came out just like, I don't know, I would have replaced that for the world. So if I had to go back and make the same mistakes to get my kids, I would, 1,000%. But if I can go back in time, I'd probably say summer before high school, I would have took my education more serious if I can go back in time. I don't know exactly what my major would be or anything like that, but I'd definitely go in high school and take my education serious.
Yeah, that's a good one. And like, I've asked that question because I've thought about it, and I wouldn't go back before my kids were born. Yeah. You know, like it would have to be anything I've done while they were born because like I couldn't go. You can't recreate them. You can't recreate even though with the partner. You can't recreate those circumstances. Yeah. So it's like if I went back, it'd have to be after 2013. Yeah. So where did I make a mad mistake after 2013 that could put me in a better spot? Because I couldn't go back without. And I wouldn't want another Jack. Like he has to be the way he is. Yeah. You know, you just fall in love with how they are. It's like I'd go back 2013, the day he was born. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, redo those angles. But then my daughter, you know, like I lose one. So it's like one of those things. It's just a fun question to ask.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Any financial money advice that you have to offer, budgeting or anything like that? Because inflation's going up. The world is crazy. So like, do you have any tips or tricks to how you survived?
Well, I mean, there's been months we barely made it or didn't really make it, but my advice would be just to start taking care of your credit as early as possible. I mean, I'm working on my credit as we speak, and it's gotten a lot better, but I wish I would have started earlier. Right. So just something to be aware of, you know, pay your bills on time, you know, and so it's kind of what I would not the best person to give financial advice, but
I don't think any of us are. But you know what we can do is tell them what not to do. Yeah, you know that's my biggest thing is like, I don't know, you might need to go talk to Dave Ramsey, but I can tell you what not to do. Yeah, you know? Yeah, and what I would do different. You know, because you know we're good examples of how to. We're trying to do it now in our 30s. You know, just think about if we had the knowledge that we had at fucking 16, 17, 18. Yeah, you know, and that's what we're trying to do is just help the people coming up. You know, or who they might be at that point right now where they have a credit card payment but they want to go fuck the money off. Hey,
Yeah.
don't do that. Pay the credit. I'm telling you, you're going to be sitting here telling like, hey, man, I don't know.
Yeah,
So it's
just
like,
wait till you have kids and you get like an eviction notice or have to move or something, and you're trying to get an apartment, and
Yeah.
you're gonna wish that you had your credit straight.
Yeah. Big facts, brother. Any last statements or anything you want to add on to about yourself, or any tips and advice for the people that are listening? Actually, no, I have one more question. So let's say there's someone out there right now who's struggling, he's depressed, he's sad, and he has no clue how to move forward. Do you have anything for that person?
Yeah, don't give up. Find a support system. And when I say that, it doesn't have to be like a full umbrella of people. It can be just one person. One person can make a big difference. It can give you an outlet, somebody to talk to. Find that person, be there for that person. Helping other people is going to help you. So that's like, usually if like I'm really down, helping somebody else will always help me feel better. You know, it's just, you go out there and you be a positive change, care about your community and your society. You know, don't sit here and complain and say, well, this isn't being done, that's not being done. If you want something done, go do it.
Big facts.
You know, and so if you're feeling depressed and you're not feeling good, you're not feeling confident, get out there and help other people. It will help you. It will help you get out there, get your mindset straight. You know, set short-term goals, because those are something that you can accomplish easy and quick, and they're going to make you feel better. So if you're depressed, and you know, maybe a goal would be like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I get out this house 3 times this week. So that's an easy goal you can hit. And go, okay, I got out 3 times this week. It feels good. I feel a lot better, whether it's just at a coffee house or you're going, you know, for a walk around the park, or you go see a family member, grandma, your cousin, whatever, you know, getting out the house. That's going to be a goal you're going to set. You know, if you're upset because you're in a bad financial situation, you can set a goal for, hey, you know what? I went out to eat 5 times last week. I'm only going to go out to eat on Friday, and I'm going to try to save money for the rest of the week, or no times, you know. Whatever it is, if you're going through a rough time with your girl, you can make short-term goals of, you know what, I'm going to do 3 things this week to show her I love her. I'm going to make an extra effort to communicate better of how I'm feeling, and getting everything off my chest, because once you get that out there, then you guys can move past it. So like, it depends on like what your depression's coming from. Yeah. But I do know closing the door, keeping the lights off, that ain't going to help. So you got to get out there.
Got to get out there, you guys. I mean, don't be afraid to reach out. If you have no one to reach out to, you can hit us up on social media, B2M. That's been going on where people are reaching out. You know, I'm just basically a text friend, you know, but it's helping them get positive. Some people just need a little purpose, like just to get out of bed, like, you know, and to keep it moving. So that's what we're trying to provide over here at Boys to Men. Every guest is going to be a special guest, someone that you can learn from, who's been through the ringer. Because, like, I think that, you know, bringing on people who are working jobs to get through, especially when they're trying to take care of their family, can be inspirational to you guys, because, or whoever's listening, or just if you want to wake up and just watch something motivational, this is going to motivate you guys. So make sure you guys follow us, subscribe to the Boys to Men podcast. This is my co-host, my guest, Joey Pledger. Thanks for coming on. Do you have any last words?
No, well, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I love what you're doing over here. No, just like I said, be that good person you want to be out there. If you got children, you know, make sure that raising good people is something that crosses your mind. You know, I feel like a lot of parents focus on grades and success, and I want my kid to do this and make this much money. I want my kid to go to this school. I want his grades to be this. It's like, you have to keep in mind, like, I want my kid to be happy. Is my kid happy? Is he enjoying himself and being support? And so just about being supportive. So.
Wow. That's a very good outlook, and you're right. A lot of people don't. I haven't heard that. You know, as far as putting that, you know, that type of perspective on parenting. You know, it's very rare to find that type of feedback and that type of advice. So I thank you for sharing that on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me out.
All right, brother.
All right.